Hello, welcome to a new DEX, the weekly design exercise from the Graphic Design School. My name is Anouk, and during this DEX we will use the Twirl tool in Adobe Illustrator on text in order to create a little wave or some sort of water splashing around effect. Before you start, make sure you've read the brief so you know the goals, the constraints and the allocated time. And as always, the brief contains an exercise for 3 different levels of design experience, so pick the one that fits you. Okay, let's open Adobe Illustrator and start. So here we are. I just opened Adobe Illustrator and created a new file. Size doesn't really matter. This is a square which is 30 and 30 centimeters. It's on RGB mode, but you can adjust the size, it doesn't really matter. We're going to start by writing the word endless. Endless. And I'm going to adjust the character. I'm going to use lemon milk. And it needs to be big, I think 150. Yes. Okay. And I'm just going to align it in the center. Okay, so here we have our word. Now there's one thing I want to do, and that is adjusting the space between the letters, so the tracking. I'm just gonna give it a bit more space. 70 is fine. Okay, there we go. Now I need to create outlines, so all these letters become shapes that then I can play around with. So if you select the word and you go to type, you can create outlines, and here you go, it's now all shapes, as you can see. They're still grouped, but before I'm gonna change our shapes, I'm just gonna make a copy. So if you press Alt and drag it out, you have a copy here in case you want to go back and change things around again. But we're gonna work with this one. Two things I want to do. I want to create 2 parts within this. One part will be the ocean, the water, with that wavy water splashing around look, and the below bit will be the sand, the beach. And in order to do so, I need to cut all these letters in 2. But I also want one original that's not cut to have in the back. And we can do that easily by creating another layer. So this is my top layer. Top. Just gonna keep a copy. Create another layer. Which will be below. Won't need it for now, but I'm just gonna create it anyway. I'm gonna sign on the top. So this one is a top copy. I'm gonna paste in the same place, so it's Command F. So the copy one I'm just going to place in the layer below. I'm going to lock it for now. I won't need it now. Just going to go back to the top. Just going to check which one that is. I'm also going to place that behind, it's easier. Make another layer for that one. Back up. Move it there. Okay, lock that one as well. Cool. I'm gonna work with this one. Now selected. Okay, there we go. That was a bit of preparation. I'm gonna slice this one. I'm gonna use the line tool. If you hold Shift, you get a straight line. Just gonna move it up a little bit. That is good. Yeah, great. And I'm going to use the line to cut every letter in two. So I've got the line selected and the font, the letters. You go to Pathfinder, and then here in Pathfinder is divide. If you click that one, it now is divided. It's still grouped, but if you press your right mouse, ungroup, you can see we now have all these. Great. Now this bit, just going to give actually the top layer a different color, so it's just easier to see. So that one will be the ocean, the water. And already downloaded some photos I'm going to use later on, but I'm just going to use the blue to pick the right color. So I've got it selected. I want to give that a color, and here is your you can press it here. You can also press I, so if it's not selected yet, shortcut is I, and then you can also pick the color that you want to use. So let's see, I think a bit darker maybe, the blue-green color, and then the below bit we'll use the color here, shortcut I. Okay. See, it also picks that one. We won't need it. Just gonna delete it. Okay, great. Now you can see the different shapes very clearly. Now I'm gonna select the above bit. I won't be changing anything here on the below bit. And I'm gonna use the Twirl tool, which is over here. If it's not there, and for example it's on another tool here, just press your right mouse and then select the tool that you want to use, and we're going to use the Twirl tool. And if you want to adjust the settings, double click, and here you can adjust the settings. Everything is now on what I'm looking for, so angle 0, intensity 50 is fine, true rate 40%, the detail 2, simplify 50. These are the settings that I created before, but it is a bit of trial and error to just try some different settings to see what the effect of the Twirl tool is and if it's what you are after. But this is what I'm after. And the width and the height of the Twirl tool you can adjust here, but you can also, if you press OK, do that here. So you can see that little circle, that's the size. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. I want, for example, size to be a little bit bigger. If you press Alt, you can drag your mouse out and adjust or in, adjust the size. So I think this is the size. I want the size to be about the same as the width of my letters. So that's great. That's the good setting. And if you, I'll just quickly show you, if you move over the shape that you've selected with your Twirl tool, it'll just twirl your shape. And the longer you hold, the more it will continue to twirl. So here it's like this, a huge twirl. I'm just gonna deselect so you can see the effect. And this was a short twirl, so it's a very different effect. So depending on what you are after, you should press your mouse or your pen longer or shorter. And that's a bit of trial and error, as said. I'm just gonna undo, Command C, what I just did. If you the Twirl tool will twirl on the shapes that you've selected. So here, if I use the Twirl tool and I would move over the below part, it will not change because I didn't select it. It's only going to change the green area that I selected. Okay. Well, I want only that effect of a wave on the below path that crosses into the sand. Well, sort of the sand, the beach. So I'm going to use my Twirl tool on the below bits of the green area. So I will only select this bit, got my tool, and then I'm going to create that wavy water splashing around effect. Often I need to redo it a lot, so I will use Command C a lot and change it again. So I will just do a couple of examples and then I will speed up and I will be back with you once I'm done. So here we go, I've got this bit selected. It's too much. So I'm just doing really short moves, otherwise it gets too twirly and I don't want that effect. Now I'm just gonna press V, get my selection tool on so I can have a look at what I've done. I want them to be on top of the below bits. I'm just gonna select all, arrange, bring to front. I'm just gonna check if I like what I see, and I could adjust. So if I would, for example, want this one, just that one I can. So I would like to add some smaller details. So I'm gonna press Alt, adjust the size, make it a bit smaller. Just add some little smaller ones. I just need to select the end first. So when you're happy with the effect, we are gonna remove these bits because I want the below bit, which we made a copy for, in that below layer, so that's here. Just quickly gonna select it by going here. I want it to continue under the above bit. So, and now the water just really comes in over the below bit. So that's great. Now we can, of course, adjust that color to a more like sandy color. Let's get our tool to find the right color. It's the sand. Okay. And we can adjust the top bit, make it a bit more blue. I think this is too green. Let me just add a bit of blue. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, sorry. And we need to, I see, delete a couple of paths. This little bit needs to go, and that little bit needs to go. Here we go. We could even give the below bit, the sandy bit, a bit of a grain to resemble the sand. If you go to Effect, and then let's see, Texture, Grain. Here's an example. Let's see, regular. Let's do the sprinkles. Just the intensity. Okay. Okay. So here we go. So you could stop here. You could also create something like this with photos that fill the color. So what we also can do is, well, let's start with the water bit. select the top. Just gonna make sure the below, because it's selected now as well. So I'm just gonna lock my layer, my below bit for now. So I can just adjust this bit. First, before we can get that photo behind, we need to create all these letter bits as one whole. So if you go to Object, Compound Path, Make, becomes one shape. So I can place my photo behind. It's already behind, that's good. And, oh, that's not the photo I want to use. I wanted to use this photo. It looks a bit wilder, the waves and everything. Let's see, I want some darker blue in there, some waves. Let's make it a bit smaller. Some white foam, so I want a mix of colors. I think this looks good. Okay, so I've got the photo, I've got the letters selected. Then you go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make. There we go. Cool. Now, if you want to, we can also use a photo on the below bit, the beach bit. Let's just lock the top. Oh wait, there's a photo that we're going to use. It's this one. It's also at the top. I'm just going to move the photo to the correct layer. I'm going to use it here. Okay. So the top bit is done. I'm going to lock it. And I'm going to use this photo for these lower bits. So also here, I need to create compound path, make. Okay, and we need that one. Just gonna place it behind my letters to make a clipping mask. I want the bits that has some footsteps. Let's see how it goes. Higher. Like to have these footsteps in there. Cool. Okay, let's select both. So we've got the letters selected and the photo, and we go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make, and there we go. So we have the sea bits, the wavy bits, and the sandy bit behind. Well, I am done. Good luck with yours. We always love to see the work you have created, so don't forget to share it with us. And we'll see you next time. Bye!